game for Roy Halladay.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Faithful Fanatics podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dylan Davis. With me, Matt McGinty, Matt Szymanski, and George Ryder. Fellas, how are we doing today?
You see my name. You see my name.
Hurts so good, baby.
I'm so fired up for this show. I don't know why.
It feels like it just raw dog a scoop of pre-workout, dog. No water, didn't mix it, just threw it right in the mouth, ready to go. I'm itching.
Well, if you're watching live right now, comment, interact with us. We're going to make this as interactive of a show as we've ever had. With the news that came yesterday, we all saw it coming after the move was made on Sunday. Jalen Hurts replaces Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback versus the New Orleans Saints. He came in the second possession of the third quarter against the loss to the Green Bay Packers. So let's start there. He was 5 of 12, used his legs a little bit, threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Gint, how were you impressed by the rookie in his debut against the Packers? And was it the right move from Doug Peterson and the organization to make that switch just after halftime?
Yeah, I thought he would have started the Packers game to begin with. I don't understand why Carson even played a drive in the second half, not saying that in a negative way towards Carson, but I thought it was time. As opposed to his play, people that hate Carson will pretend that we weren't down 2 scores. They were playing prevent coverage and just allowing us to play in front of them. Green Bay tightened up at one point, and he threw an interception. But I'll still give him a B-. He made some throws that were good balls, and I don't want to hate Jalen Hurts. I really don't. So, like I said, a B, I think, is about as accurate as you could get for Jalen Hurts on Sunday, and we'll see about this week.
George, how would you grade the play of Jalen Hurts in his debut, and was it the right decision to remove Carson and put in Jalen Hurts?
It was definitely the right decision. I mean, at this point, what else do you have going for you? You at least have Jalen Hurts that can use his legs and get outside the pocket and work better with that offensive line, use his legs better than Wentz. I thought he looked good. He made good throws. He used his legs very well. It was about time. It probably was time before this game to put Ertz in, but what are you going to do? And at this point moving forward, it's the best decision for the team. I mean, he's going to look better than Carson Wentz would against the Saints because he can actually use his legs. He can get away from the blitz. He can extend plays more. He'll probably have fewer sacks. He'll scramble more. I'll give him a B. He looked good. That touchdown pass, obviously, Ward was wide open. It was an easy throw to make, but he made the throw. He could have missed the throw. So Ertz looked good. He didn't light the world on fire, but you got to give it to the kid. He's young. He's a rookie. It was a B, and I guess I'm excited to see what he does against the Saints, even though it's probably going to be a really fucking tough game for him. That defense is so good. That defensive line is really good. He's going to have his struggles, but we'll see what happens. I'll give him a B for his performance, though, in the second half.
And Snap, before I go, how would you grade the play of Jalen Hurts, and was it the right decision?
They summed it up perfectly, Gint and George. It is a B. He looked like a decent He looked like a decent NFL quarterback in his first go-around. That deep pass for a TD in the end zone was good. The interception, tight. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes like that. Like Gint said, I don't want to hate this kid. I actually really like this kid. If we didn't have a quarterback and we drafted him in the second round, I would have loved the pick. But we have number 11 on the bench, and we're going to get into why this is like a whole issue. Yeah. Clearly, you see who I blame. But he played good for the first time, and you know what? It was the right time, even though I don't, in a weird way, I don't think it was the right time, if that makes any sense. It doesn't probably, but you knew it was going to happen. Let me say it like that. You knew it was going to happen. It was a matter of time before it happened, and I'm glad we're just finally getting to see him, know what we have. So, B overall, glad we got to see him. Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah, because I know you're going to go on CVS receipt type brand here, but I just think it's like kind of comical that 65% of this fan base at this point just like magically thought Greg Ward was like getting open.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't get open 11 weeks into the season, but something happened in the second half of the Green Bay Packers game where Greg Ward started getting open. So I just had to throw that out there because I'm so done with this fan base. I wish I could like a different team, but I physically can't.
Yeah. All right. Was it the right move at the time? Yeah. I mean, you had to make a switch. I would probably sit Carson down for the rest of the season. The season's over. Just simply to protect Carson from that offensive line. I'll throw one thing out real quick before I get to Jalen Hurts. I never want to hear that Carson Wentz is injury prone ever, ever, ever again. Because if he didn't get hurt behind this offensive line this year, I don't want to ever hear that he's injury prone again. With that being said, Jalen Hurts was a B minus. He played fine. He came in, he looked good. Finished 5 of 12, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Like Gint said, it was a nice throw to Jalen Hurts. Greg Ward in the end zone. He climbed the pocket, escaped the pressure, made the throw on the run, kind of. He was open. His best throw, in my opinion, was to throw down the sideline to Jalen Reagor in the first possession he came in the game. Somehow, I'm with Gint. Look, for everyone that doesn't want to admit this, Green Bay was up. What was it, 17-3 or 20-3 at the time? I think it was 17-3, and there was 7 or 8 minutes left in the game, or I forget. No. He came in the third quarter, but he provided a spark. And they were sitting back in prevent coverage. Keep everything in front of you. You want to pick up 10, 15 yards to Greg Ward, that's fine. We're going to come up. We're going to make the tackle, chew some clock. We're up big. That's what they did. Once Jalen Hurts threw the touchdown to Greg Ward, the defense got to stop. Jalen Reagor, all of a sudden, the special teams is alive. He gets to return punts instead of Greg Ward. He returns a punt, 1 possession game. Guess what Green Bay does the very next possession? They tighten up. And he can't do anything the very next possession, okay? So let's not act like the kid lit the world on fire. He was 5 of 12. He threw an interception. I don't want to see any comments tonight or after the show about how, he was hit. Nope. Carson was hit plenty of times during an interception this year. Never got it. He was hit, interception. I don't want to dislike the kid. I like the kid, actually. I'm with Snap. The Eagles, the situation makes me upset and mad that we're here. But let's move forward a little bit. Was it the right move, Gant, we got the Green Bay game out of the way, but now is it the right move to name him the starter versus the Saints? Because there was a lot of talk of you just need to sit Carson down for a half. He needs to get his head out of his ass, sit him down. It's a wake-up call. But that's not the case. He's the starter now this week against New Orleans Saints at home. Was that the right move?
Yeah, and I'm saying in a sense of like you said, I don't want Carson to die behind this offensive line. The other, like I said, I'm going to go with 65%. That's the number I'm going to use. Of the fan base thinks this is like the new era that we're getting into all of a sudden. That Jalen Hurts turns something around out of nowhere. Guys still aren't going to get open, even though somehow Alshon Jeffrey's hurt again. And
I'll get to that
somehow. But everything, it was the right move for this week at least. I'm not going to say I want him to fail, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carson plays in the second half this week. But we'll see.
George, is it the right move versus Saints?
It's 100% the right move. I mean, at this point in the season, Wentz is, to put it lightly, it's unfixable with him. This offensive line, with this offense, it's just not going to work. You're going to have the same story every single week. At least with Ertz, it sucks he's a rookie and has to make his first start against the Saints defense. It's going to be rough, but he's going to be able to extend plays more. He's going to be able to move out of the pocket better. He's going to be able to use his legs, get first downs more. Wentz isn't going to be able to do that against the Saints. It's not.
I'm with you. Not to cut you off, I'm with you. Right. But everyone thinks, like, to your point, I'm not saying he's not going to be able to do that more effectively, but everyone thinks like, oh man, look at this offensive line. It actually played a little better. Carson Wentz was sacked 4 times with 15 pass attempts against Green Bay. Jalen Hurts was sacked 3 times with 12 pass attempts. So, no, the offensive line did not play better in front of Jalen Hurts.
No, definitely. Yeah, you're 100% right. But against it, yeah. And just to the point, though, against the Saints, the way that Ertz can use his legs a lot more effectively than Carson can right now, it's going to be better for the Birds. It's going to be better for Wentz to not get absolutely destroyed by that monster Saints defensive line. Start Ertz the rest of the season. That's what should happen. That's probably what will happen unless he absolutely shits the bed. We'll see. But, yeah, it's 100% the right move to start him against the Saints and probably going forward too.
All right. Snap.
Yeah, it's the right move. My biggest point is the same as Gant's. I just don't want Wentz to get banged up more than he has to. Again, touching back on what I said, I've been the last couple weeks, I've been wanted to see Ertz in. And the main reason for that is to just see what the kids got. We know the season's washed. We're already basically a top 5 pick in the draft. I've been wanted to tank too. So why not keep tanking, see what we got? The only way Hurts completely wins me over that this is his job to lose is if he somehow goes out there and just plays astronomically good against the Saints. And by that, I don't mean that we run because we have a comment right here, that we run the ball 30 times and he does a good job passing the ball with the 30 runs that we have. No, that's not what I mean. If they're running the ball, I'm not giving him any credit. That's Doug's lack of common sense for not doing that all year. But if the kid goes out and somehow manages to throw like 4 TDs, no interceptions, goes for 300 yards, I'll be like, okay, we got something here. Let's see what we got. And for the rest of the year, I want to see what he's got. Let's see because honestly, I hope he turns into trade bait and Wentz isn't really out the door. But the way everyone's seeming to think is that Wentz is already out the door. So, I mean, you have to see what the kid's got no matter which avenue you go. And I'm excited. In a weird way, I'm excited. And even though we have a ton of quarterback controversy once again for the 3rd season in a row, I am excited to see this kid play.
Yeah.
Shout out Ty Book.
It's exciting. Shout out to Ty Book for that comment. He joined us for the live stream on Sunday. It was a good time. The live stream, if you guys want to tune in, I think we'll be doing again this Sunday versus Saints. It makes the pain a little more tolerable.
I have a lot more to say about Doug running the ball. But
I'm gonna I'll throw it back to you in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I want to address one thing about your comments about him trade bait versus Carson and people thinking Carson should be traded. Let me make one thing very clear. Is it possible that's the direction the Eagles want to go towards? I guess. They've done nothing to help this kid. It seems as though they're doing everything they can to push him out of the city. So if that's the case, fine. But I want to pull this up right here. The fact that Alshon Jeffrey was getting Fulgham snaps and target is a joke. Let me explain why Alshon's on the field as much as he is. Because he has a $12 million cap hit. And Howie Roseman and this team will not eat it. So for everyone that thinks we play fantasy football, and this is just fantasy land here, and the money doesn't matter, Carson Wentz will not be on the bench next year. Carson Wentz will not be traded next year, in my opinion, because this Eagles team is not going to sit a guy for $60 million to just not play, and they're not going to trade him and eat high 30s, 34 million in dead cap for a guy that's not even playing here. They won't sit Alshon Jeffrey for a $12 million cap hit. They are not going that route. But let me talk about the Saints game. It's scary to me because Taysom Hill is starting for the Saints. So that makes me think that the Eagles defense will have
success. Jalen Hurts 2.0, Taysom Hill?
Yeah. So I think it'll be a closer game. I don't know how the Eagles and Jalen Hurts move the ball against the Saints defense, like George said earlier, but I do think our defense at least keeps us in the game. With that being said, is it the right move? I guess, but it just makes the mess this organization has created that much worse. And let me explain why. A few weeks ago, we had a conversation of put in Jalen Hurts because we think it's Doug Peterson. A group of people think it's Carson Wentz. We'll find out who's correct. Now, Snap, this is where I'm about to throw it back to you in a minute. That's not true because it's not level playing field. How many weeks in a row where we saying run the ball, Doug? Roll Carson out of the pocket, Doug. This offensive line sucks. Move the pocket. And he doesn't do it. Now, let me break down what happened in the Packers game and what's going to happen Sunday. The Packers game, Carson Wentz gets pulled. Guess who gets pulled with Carson Wentz? Now, I know he has a toe injury and he might have some other stuff going on.
The bodyguard.
The worst right guard in the NFL gets pulled and Nate Herbig comes in. All of a sudden, the special teams that sucks all year, the backup quarterback, Greg Ward's returning punts all year when Carson Wentz is quarterback. All of a sudden, the guy that's meant to return punts gets put back there and returns one to the house on Sunday night. Now the comments today. We need to run the ball and establish the run to help Jalen Hurts out this Sunday. Wow. You mean the same thing you should have done to help number 11 out for the past 12 fucking weeks, right, Doug? Or now all of a sudden, Alshon Jeffrey and Jason Peters are sore. They might miss Sunday's game. Are you kidding me? They're sore now, guys. They're sore. Carson Wentz is off the field. Jalen Hurts is in. They're going to run the ball more. And not to mention that he moved Jalen Hurts out of the pocket damn near every pass attempt against the Packers. I'm sure you're going to see a ton of that on Sunday. So he's going to run the ball. He's going to move the pocket for Jalen Hurts, and the guys that are detrimental to this offense are going to be now off the field, giving other guys opportunities.
It's clear and obvious that if we run the ball 30 times this week, that there is an absolute disconnect in your quarterback and head coach, and that they can't coexist anymore.
Goes deeper.
Yeah, and it might, but I don't see how you can have both of them if you somehow see the ball run 30 times this week, because that's clearly saying that or maybe not. Maybe Doug sees some vision where Carson needs to throw the ball 46 times for him to succeed, but this head coach and quarterback are not on the same page whatsoever. You saw a big thing with every time Carson gets an interception, it's not go up to Doug and speak. It's slam the iPad on the ground and look at it. And Jalen Hurts throws a pick, and it looked like Doug was like gonna like
the whole goddamn coaching staff's over there.
Yeah, it was everyone. So there was like Dive said it a lot in our post game after Sunday. He's like, there is disconnect.
Yammer.
That's incorrect in every
No, don't get me wrong. There were times Hurts broke the pocket under pressure. There were times. But about the first 3 pass attempts, he got the snap in the shotgun and immediately rolled out. Those are design rollouts.
Dude, pull up Ty's comment.
Ty Book says the bodyguard's toe might as well be.
Listen, can I just spin off what Matt's saying?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's 2 possible things that we can judge from the whole Hurts-Wentz thing. And one of them is actually a Mike Missinelli point that I heard a long time ago earlier in the season that I kind of just didn't want to believe. And it's the fact that either A, management and everyone just wants to force out Wentz for whatever reason, and they are doing everything possible to make it look like the smart move, or B, Doug Peterson is just that incompetent of a coach that he knows how to set up backup quarterbacks but won't do it for Wentz. Whether that's an ego thing that drives back to Wentz being such a good MVP and being able to make plays and him getting a lot of credit for taking them to as far as they went before they made their playoff run and before the Wentz injury. Because all you hear about the Super Bowl year is, oh, we don't get there without Wentz.
Yeah.
And maybe Doug is just this ego maniac that's like, well, if I'm not coaching it, we don't get there either. So he's almost getting to the point where something's got. Yeah, he is incompetent. It's getting to the point where it's either Doug is just this incompetent and this big of an ego that he's like doing everything to prove that it's not Wentz, it's him, or management is so convinced on Jalen Hurts and moving on from Carson Wentz for whatever reason it is that they are doing everything possible to just put this man under the bus. This man was a baller the last 3 years of his career. He was the MVP in 2017 before he goes down. And they're this quick to give up on him? What happened to this max extension you just signed this guy for with all this guaranteed money? Then you go out and draft Jalen Hurts after he gets injured in the playoffs. There's something behind this. Like, there is more to this than like Carson Wentz just playing bad.
Yeah.
And I refuse to believe that it's anything but that. I think management's out for this guy. I think that coaching staff is out for this guy. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Everything just points to that everyone's after it. The fact that you come out after benching Carson Wentz and everything we have been screaming for the last 5 weeks, you need to run the ball, play the short game better, roll him out of the pocket, all happens in a press conference where, oh, yeah, I think we're going to do that with Jalen. Like we just said, the first 3 plays, Jalen Hurts was in the game. They rolled him out of the pocket, and Carson Wentz did that once in the whole game.
Yeah.
His most effective way of throwing the ball, and you've been putting him in the pocket all year. There's something going behind the scenes that we don't know about, and it's going to lead to bigger issues for this team down the line because you already seen Fletcher Cox go to Twitter and like a tweet about wanting Wentz.
He commented on that today, too.
You also saw Jason Kelce literally rip the whole Eagle organization earlier today about benching Wentz, saying he's still our quarterback. It's the whole offense's fault, including coaching staff and management. the whole locker room is going to fall apart. And I guarantee you this, my whole theory is true if you see Jason Kelce get moved this offseason because of comments like that. I promise you. I know I'm taking it to another level with that type of commenting. Anyone that's Team Wentz is going to be out the door. I'm telling you. If they are really on about making Wentz to get the fuck out of here, everyone that's on Team Wentz will not be here anymore.
All right, go ahead, George, and then I'm going to.
I'll say what Ty said in the comments. Yeah, I think it's crazy if they're actually trying to move on from Wentz that bad after a year last year where he throws 4,000 yards with us at receivers and a bunch of misfit toys and leads us to the division. And this one bad year with nothing around him, we want to kick him out the door. That's crazy. Also, Dibes, Howie, so much worse than Clentak because Clentak, Middleton was sitting on his wallet. All right, Clentak couldn't do much. It's Howie. All
right, let me get to these other two comments here. Nadir, thanks for joining, buddy. We'll get to the Sixers in a little bit. Coaching staff has failed Carson Wentz. You're 100% correct. Yammer said, could we lock the two of them in the Thunderdome? 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
I would pay. I would throw Wentz's shotgun for pheasant hunting.
Wentz and Hurts
are out. He lives in Morristown. I know where he lives. I'll show you his doorstep.
And Ty Book says 11 different offensive linemen, and Doug calls the game like we have 5 studs up there. Kelce will retire this year. All right, so let's move it forward to 2021 because I have a few things I want to say. I want to go off one of the things that Snap said about the last 3 years because there's a large portion of this fan base, and I know I look at Eagles Twitter too much because it is an asinine of a place, okay?
Fucking awful. Anything Philadelphia sports related on social media is just fucking awful at this point.
There's this idea that, especially at Matt_McGinty, I don't know who that clown is, but anyway, there's this notion that Carson Wentz had 1 good year as the MVP year. That couldn't be further from the truth. So let me give you these numbers. From 2017, the MVP year, to the end of last season, right? He was 81 touchdowns to 21 interceptions for his TD to interception ratio. 260 yards per game, 98.3 QBR, 64.4 completion percentage, 25-15 record. In 2020, we know the numbers. He's 16 to 15 touchdown interception ratio, 218 yards, 72.8 QBR, under 60% completion percentage. They're 3-8-1, right? So it wasn't just 1 good year. I also would like to point out that he's the most hit, most sacked quarterback in the entire NFL. Are some of those sacks on him? Absolutely. But let me say one thing. When people say, oh, like that when he rolled out and he threw that 40-yard pass to Dallas Goedert, right? And it was underthrown because he was on the run, and he could have stopped and set his feet and delivered a ball probably for a touchdown. And people are saying, oh, he's seeing ghosts out there, blah, blah, blah. What do you expect to happen when the season after the last time the dude played football, he got his head smashed into the ground, didn't know where he was, and his brain was bounced around off his skull? The very next season after playing, he's the most hit quarterback in the NFL and sacked almost 50 times through 13 weeks. Yes, he's going to see ghosts. He's not comfortable behind 11 different offensive line sets throughout. So let's move forward to 2021. And this is a great point here. Wentz beat Dak last year with running backs and tight ends. That's why I want to get to our fan base and going forward with the disaster that this team and this organization has created. So everyone loves – remember before, guys, when it was rookie year, Dak was better than Wentz because the record. And then the next 2 to 3 years, it was kind of conversations over. Wentz is the better quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to the first 5 weeks of the season before Dak goes down. Wentz and the Eagles are struggling. Dak's putting up monster numbers even though the record's not good. And it's, oh, Wentz ain't the same quarterback as Dak. I can't stand the inconsistency and of this fan base to force this kid out of here. If you want to give up on this 27-year-old kid after 10, 11 bad games, because he's only played 12 and a half, 13 games, and not all of them were bad. So 9, 10, 11 bad games, you want to throw that kind of talent and force that kind of talent out of the city, go ahead, because you're forcing me out with them. If there's any domino, if he is the first domino to fall out of this mess of an organization, it's not one guy, guys, from top to bottom, management, coaching, player personnel. There's holes all over this team. And if he goes before Howie or before maybe one of the worst play callers I've seen this season that I've seen in a long time, I give up, dude. That is not the first domino to fall. If anything, You bring in another play caller and an OC. You bring in a competent GM, and you build around this kid. You've done nothing to help this kid out except bring in his replacement. And I know everyone likes to say, well, if he's not mentally strong enough to look past that, is he really the guy? Dude, there's a human effect to it. There is. Admit that. He goes out, he's the MVP of the league. The backup comes in, magic happens, and they win the Super Bowl. The stars align, they win the Super Bowl. There's a damn statue built for the guy out front of his stadium. He finally gets out of that, and then they draft this young Heisman runner stud in the second round to be his replacement. There's a human nature effect to it, guys. Of course he's going to be broken. Yes, and he's mentally cooked right now. He's not physically cooked. And the fact that you're still seeing mechanical issues in year 5, that is a coaching thing. It's not just on him. There's many reasons Carson's broken, and yeah, it's because of him. But there's a lot more that goes into it, and I'm not giving up on him in 2020.
No, I'm not either. I'm absolutely not. The biggest issue that was said today is Doug Peterson coming out to the media to say some stupid shit like he always does. He finally makes sense, but it's still stupid. How are you going to come out and tell us how you have a game plan built to help Jalen Hurts against New Orleans that you should have been implementing with Wentz all year? You're making the kid go deep. You're making him throw these deep balls. You're making him sit in the pocket. You're not running the ball. You're not playing the short game with them. But the first time Jalen Hurts is bound to start, here he comes being competent. Oh, we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna put an emphasis on running the ball and playing the short game.
Help him out and help out our quarterback.
You can do this to a 4-year quarterback just because he's not a rookie, and just not expect this guy to be great with all this pressure on him. And you can help him out the same way you're willing to help this rookie out just because he's not a rookie. It's almost like there's a stigma to it or something because he's a former NFL competing caliber quarterback. Just because he's proven himself in the past doesn't mean he doesn't need help or a restart or to get him in rhythm to the season, dude. It's mind-boggling.
I also never want to hear that he needs to go because he's lost the locker room. He lost the locker room. The leader of the defense
just attacked the whole organization for this man.
And Fletcher Cox came. I know the tweet you're talking about, Snap. It was the retweet with Jalen Hurts' face and the like for Carson Wentz from WIP. And Fletcher Cox liked it for Carson Wentz. He was asked about it today. He said Carson Wentz is his best friend on the team. So the two other biggest leaders outside the quarterback in your organization support the kid, want Carson to play, are really close with him. We know his relationship with Zach Ertz, and you're telling me he's lost the locker room? Not buying it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I just can't believe last week we saw – it was 4th and 16 right before the half, and they didn't send anyone on a fly route. And Wentz took 2 yards, the clock ran out. But the first play, Jalen Hurts came in, they sent Rieger on a fly route down the field. Snap might be right. Snap might be onto something here with the Sherlock Holmes take.
I swear to God. I don't
know what he did, but they might really, really, for some reason, want this kid out. That's the only way I can think of it at this point. But in terms of 2021, I'm on the Wentz wagon until who knows.
I'll tell you what you do real quick. Here's the format for this offense in 2021. Lane Johnson will be back. Brandon Brooks will be back. Jason Peters is out of here. Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson is out of here. You go out and you draft Jamar Chase in the top 5 or 6 or whatever your goddamn pick is. Jalen Reagor gets to be the number 2 wide receiver. Greg Ward is no longer your number 1. You bring in a play caller who will actually help out Carson and involve Miles Sanders, and then come talk to me. And then if number 11 is still struggling and he looks bad, I will come back on here and over in a year from now, and I will tell every single one of you, I was wrong. You beat me. You got it right. But guess what, guys? I highly freaking doubt that is the case. Do not give up on that kind of talent. He didn't. Go ahead.
Just to quote every Eagles fan I've ever met loves Jason Kelce. I would say he's probably one of the most respected offensive players on the team. Am I wrong?
No,
or am I right? I'm right. Correct. Obviously I'm right. Jason Kelce today on Carson Wentz. The moment he came in his rookie year, he transformed our offense. And that's not just as a player. That's as him being as a person. That's the intelligence he brings, the athleticism he brings, the competitiveness he's brings. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. I'm so mad. And made tangible. Difference in the practice every day on game day. So it's kind of hard to believe we're at this point, to be honest with you. Straight out of the most credible offensive player this team has had since going to the Super Bowl. He is saying this about the quarterback. Well, what are Eagles fans not seeing? This guy's an NFL center.
Yeah, maybe they see
the best one.
Snap. The thing is, they see what we don't see. They're seeing something more, guys.
They're brainwashed by the 1% of Philadelphia sports.
He did not
in the city, like Howie Rose. God,
he did not just forget how to play quarterback, guys. He's broken. Broken can be fixed. You need to remove the pieces that broke him.
And not break.
My God, he didn't just forget it. Everyone, I'm not the biggest Colin Cowherd guy. I said this last night on Party on Broad. But he said it 100% correct. Eli Manning in year 4 led the league in interceptions, threw over 30 interceptions. They wanted him out of New York. He went on to win the Super Bowl. His better half, Peyton Manning, in year 4, threw, I think, 26 touchdowns to 23 interceptions. They were 6-10 or 7-9. He was awful that year. Brett Favre threw over 20 interceptions like 6-7 times.
Yeah, but Dylan, it's not the same because he's not as good.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
No, yeah, because I think we should move on because we've all just been on tangent.
I'm gonna have a stroke if we don't. Move
on.
Please, for the love of God.
But I think we all are sitting here on the same page that we want Carson Wentz to start next year. We want a new play caller.
I want a new everything.
I was going to say, I don't know if I want a new head coach or not, but I'm assuming he won't.
I do.
Yeah.
It's either you tell Doug you're giving up the playbook or you're gone. That's pretty much.
Here's the thing, guys. Going back to my little conspiracy theory, that's not going to happen.
No.
Because Jeffrey Lurie, for some reason, is in love with these two guys, Howie Roseman and Doug Peterson, ever since they won the Super Bowl. They can't do wrong. They can't do wrong. For some reason, these guys can't do wrong and be held accountable. But your MVP caliber quarterback can. And that's what's wrong with this team. And that's how this is going to go.
So I want to address something right here because Big Shane Gillis, thanks for watching, man. And at the end, he says it's a business. At the end of the day, can't make it personal. But I want to pull up his first comment. Doesn't always have to be political and nothing's ever fair. If the dude's not doing his job well and there's someone who can do it better, they deserve the opportunity to make a difference. I know it. Shane, I get where he's coming from, but that's a standard for everybody. Doug's not doing his job well. Where's his replacement? Howie hasn't done his job well since 2017 and sucked at it before. Where's his replacement? I really believe Rob Lange pointed this out on Party on Broad last night. I think Chip Kelly was onto something. I know we all hate Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was onto something when he forced that little weasel into his closet.
Yeah, wherever Jason Kelce said he was before the Super Bowl, put him back. Put him back. Because now it's getting ridiculous. You missed on DK. You know who are the number 1 and 2 wide receivers this year on single coverage in the NFL?
Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, 809 yards for DK Metcalf and 663 yards for Justin Jefferson. That came out today, thanks PFF. So just remember that when you want to talk about accountability in this team, it starts at the top and then works its way down. If your management and coaching can't put your best players in the best place to succeed, that's where you start with accountability. Not because your quarterback's getting hit 50 times in a season.
Did you guys see Patrick Queen's interception last night for the Ravens?
Yeah, we didn't need.
We don't value that. Oh,
we got Nate Gary.
What about his teammate LJ Fort that we just shipped off?
We got Nate Gary.
And Lane Johnson, I love you, man, but that picture,
tradable offense.
I said that right to the group chat.
Oh man,
I post a picture with Nate Gary, 2 best friends that anyone could have. I get it. There's relationships outside of football. I'm not trying to be a dick, but come on, dude, that's the worst person to take that picture with. let's move on. I'm gonna do it. Let's please before one.
So I have a nice segue.
Dylan's gonna have a stroke in about 5 seconds. Let's do it.
So speaking of Nate Gary is the Furcon Cork Mons of the Philadelphia Eagles. So
The deer, get him.
No.